In August of the year 2000, voters approved a plan to fund a countywide enhanced 911 system. Now, almost 8 years later, that system is working according to plan. The public had doubts early on, mainly because of the sudden introduction of a radical new address nomenclature on county roads. The time has proven its effectiveness.
There were some reservations early on because people didn't understand it, but the general reaction by most folks that I deal with is positive. They want assurances that if they get into any kind of trouble, that there's a good chance that they can be found, and this system allows for that.
The Southern Oklahoma Development Association, or SODA for short, spent most of 2002 mapping Pontotoc County using global positioning satellites. Those GPS addresses, based on an XY grid, were then downloaded onto a master map used by enhanced 911 dispatchers to pinpoint emergency calls.
Every mile is 1,000. And that begins in the northern part of the county. So you would begin in the northern part of the county. As you're going south, 1,000, and every section goes up 2, 3, 4, etc. And the numbers get bigger as you move south. The same thing applies to east and west numbers. The base numbers start in the western border, Pontotoc-Garvin County line, at 1,000, and obviously they get bigger as it moves east. The county is roughly 30 by 30, so most time you're 1,000 addresses up to 30,000.
As the population in the county grows and new homes are built, new GPS addresses must be added into the system. It's an ongoing process, with several new addresses being added to the master map each month.
And the good thing about this system is being able to address every 5.2 feet, we can't run out of numbers. It's not like we're going to ever have a situation where we've got to come back to the public in 15 years and say, hey, growth has been more than we thought it would be. We've outgrown this system. Being able to address every 5.2 feet, obviously you can't outgrow that.
New GPS addresses are added in the same fashion used by SODA during the initial readdressing of the county 6 years ago. 2 devices are used to address a new home. One is used to measure distance on the ground, and the other uses a combination of satellites to determine exact location in the county. The precision of GPS addressing has all but eliminated guesswork for emergency responders.
Prior to that, of course, what you had to go work with in rural areas was directions, which sometimes were good, sometimes not so good. You would get directions like from a certain person's house or a certain landmark. Well, you could have someone that's visiting you. I mean, let's say that you're grown up in years and have a medical emergency. Say they're from out of town and would have no idea when they call 911 how to tell even where they are. Also, if the caller calls in and is unable to communicate anything at all, this brings up a GPS location of where their driveway meets the county road, and help would be sent to determine, what the call is about. Because all 911 calls are investigated, even a 911 hang-up.
GPS addressing and enhanced 911 has greatly improved emergency response time, effectively eliminating the time-consuming chain of phone and radio calls. But emergency responders aren't alone in utilizing the GPS addressing system.
You have to have the physical address to get utilities, telephone, gas, etc. So now it's not mandatory to use as your mailing address if you use a P.O. box. But otherwise, if you're going to get anything done, if you're going to build a house before you can get any of the utilities, you're going to have the physical address. Physical addresses, too, are also very helpful to, like your postal services, UPS, FedEx, etc. Have also got these maps to work with, and it's helpful to them.
In addition to residential addresses, the master GPS map contains other useful information that may come in handy in case of emergency.
Water lines, sewer lines. We have, of course, all the hospital locations in the county are down on the map, so we can overlay that. Nursing homes, critical infrastructure, tower sites, just about anything that you've got the time to go out and actually shoot and download on there and reference back to, you can do.
Many Pontotoc County residents have wholeheartedly embraced the GPS addressing system, but there are still steps some can take to make it even better.
The best thing they could do is purchase the green signs and put those up at the house, because it's not unusual to run to a location and you're very close, but there could be 4 or 5 houses that it could be. Well, it's very reassuring to look at it and say, okay, I'm going to that address. Hey, there's a sign that's telling me that's where it is. And also, it's real good, even if they're not coming to your address, if they can see a sign and they know that they're traveling, the numbers are sequencing correctly, then that's a reinforcement to them that, hey, yeah, this address we're looking for is 1 more mile or 1 mile and a half to the east of where we're going. And that's always reassuring to know, to make sure you're on the right track.